Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC. Today we're going to be taking a look at, well, it's a Hogue knife, but it's a Sig Sauer knife. It is the Sig Sauer Legion X5, made by Hogue. Now, the Legion series of knives, made by Hogue for Sig Sauer, was made to accompany the Legion series of firearms from Sig Sauer, and it's denoted by the Legion medallion there on the handle of the knife. Now, this did come via the Apex Pass Around group, so thank you very much to Hogue, Sig Sauer, and the Apex Pass Around group for the opportunity to check out the X5. So let's zoom out here real quick, and we will do that. Before we get into the knife, I'll just kind of show you the box. There you go. It comes in the Sig Sauer manual knives box. Oops. And there you go. You can see, made exclusively for Sig Sauer by Hogue. Very cool. So let's get in to the knife. Now the X5, you've got this really nice black aluminum frame on it. As I said, you have the Legion series medallion accompanying the medallion firearms. Now you do have this G10, this black G10 insert. You'll notice around the medallion, it's a pretty aggressive kind of milling on it, but as you get back towards the back of the knife, or the back of the handle, you'll see that it smooths out really nicely, and that's going to come in very handy on the other side. You do have a pocket clip filler there, lanyard hole, pretty closed construction there, just with the aluminum. Kind of makes a faux backspacer, if you will, kind of fills in that gap. But as you can see, now you've got the pocket clip there. It is right or left hand, tip up carry. But there you can see on this insert, G10 insert, you've got the aggressive up here around the medallion, but it smooths out very nicely under the pocket clip. Really, really digging on that, because if it was this aggressive underneath that pocket clip, yeah, it would pretty much be a pants eater, because that's some pretty aggressive milling going on there in that G10. I know it might be kind of hard to see that, but I mean, there you go. You can kind of see it. It's pretty aggressive. But does it affect the grip? No, not at all. Deep carry on that pocket clip. Pretty darn deep carry for sure. Flipper runs on bearings. Now you will notice that it is a button lock, and it also has a lock for the button lock. Nope, not coming shut. Deactivate the lock, and there it comes. Now it's not a full, I mean, it drops pretty good, but you notice you do have to finish it off right there. Really, really nice action on this X5. Come up to the blade. Now you've got a CPM 154 blade. There's your Hogue. There's your Sig Sauer logo, USA X5. You've got a really tall, like, drop point, or spear point, excuse me, but it's a harpoon. You got that harpoon spear point on it. You see there, you've kind of got a cutout in the spine for a place for your thumb to land. That is really, really nice. Oh man, with that little cutout there behind that harpoon, man, it really, really locks that grip in. You've got a gray Cerakote finish on the blade there. Nice swedge across that spine. Tip comes down to a pretty nice tip. Not I mean, is it, I don't know if I'd call it dainty, but it comes down to a pretty nice point there. Oh yeah. Choil. Choil is done really well. You got a high flat grind on it. Nice flat up here. I really, really digging the look of that blade. Really good belly on it. This thing, this thing eats rope. Oh, it was so much fun. This thing, great at work. Like I said, that tall blade, that belly, oh yeah, it just ate rope like crazy. Let's get some specs on it real quick before we get our overall thoughts in there. Good size knife. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right about, I mean, just a hair over 8 inches overall. Your handle's going to be about, I give it about 4 5/8. Now, blade length, you're looking at, I measured it right about 3.5 official. Okay, 3.5, that's good. With your cutting edge, just shy about 3 3/8 on your cutting edge. Now, your grip length, your natural grip length is only going to be about 3 inches. That is something to note on this knife. You've got a good size handle, but just the way the shape of the handle is, your grip length kind of does shrink down. And you've really only got about 3 inches of grip length. Now, is that an issue for me? Not really. Larger hands could be an issue for. Need to point that out. Size comparison. There's our PM2. So overall, lengthwise, it's pretty much PM2-ish. For sure. Yeah, that's a very good size comparison. And of course, we're going to throw our bug out up there, but it's definitely a much, well, chunkier and taller knife than the bug out is, without a doubt. But definitely a PM2 comes right in pretty accurately as far as a size comparison goes. Let's get a weight on it. Now, does it say? Official weight says 4.66 ounces. Now, like I said, it's pretty much solid aluminum with those G10 inserts. So let's see. 136 grams, or my scale says 4.8. So I think on the, I forget what knife it was I just measured, but it was, my scale's usually pretty right on with the measurement. So I have it a little bit heavier than what Hogue says it is. Not that much. So let's check our carry. It's very nice in and out of pocket. Your pocket clip is kind of angled, so it does kind of want to sit at a little bit of an angle, I noticed. But I mean, it's gone. It disappears. We gotta like that. I do. In the pocket, as it sits, like I said, it's angled a little bit. So as you're moving around and stuff, I found that it wants to kick, you know, because I want it to lay kind of flat in the pocket. So it has a tendency to kick up a little bit so it rides out. I like my knives to kind of ride in the corner of my pocket. So it does, I found, have a tendency to want to ride out, to lay flat. It's kind of across your pocket a little bit. Is it an issue? No, but you just have to be aware. And if you don't care how it carries in your pocket, then it really doesn't matter at all. Overall, guys, this is a really, really solid knife. Ergos, I pointed out that handle. Now for me, I can pretty much get a pretty satisfactory grip on it. You'll notice that this portion hits me pretty much right in the middle of my pinky finger. Is it an issue? Is it uncomfortable? No, not at all. Just want to point out that with larger hands, you're probably going to be sliding down a little bit more. You've got a nice cutout for your index finger. My index finger lands in that very nicely. Grip-wise, I can feel that pocket clip right there a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, I can feel it. If you were going to be doing a lot of cutting, it could potentially start to bug you a little bit. If you were doing a lot of cutting, this would probably start to bother me. Just to point out. Overall, the knife is done very well. Like I said, the action is really smooth. You do kind of have to finish it off there. It doesn't drop completely shut, which is not a big deal. To me, anyway. Rockets out there. Really nice. Closes down. You know, it might not be a bad idea if it doesn't close all the way, because then I might not hurt myself as much. But take a close-up look at it. Your screws, these body screws here are pretty darn flush. I mean, not flush, but they're recessed, I guess. Your plate filler screw there is not. Pivot, it stands proud a little bit. Not too bad. Nothing major for me anyway. You do not have a recessed screw in the pocket clip. Did not cause an issue at all. Everything is chamfered really nicely. I mean, it's a Hogue built knife, guys. And what Hogue has been doing lately with the Deca and... oh, yeah. Hogue's just been making some really, really fantastic knives. The new Ritters from Hogue, my goodness. There's some lefty for you. I'm definitely not left-handed, so this is completely foreign to me. But that's a really solid knife overall, guys. Really solid knife. Blue liked it. He gave it an 8. Simple fact that he gave it an 8 was for, I'm starting to kind of sort of have a, you know, the issues with the grip, and it's gonna be, if you had a larger hand and your pinky had to lay over here, you know, it might not be a bad thing, to be perfectly honest with you. Because if I just put my pinky over there, it really doesn't feel bad. So definitely something to think about, you know, if you're taking a look at this knife. But he gave it an 8 overall. I think that's fair. You know, he's pretty much an 8.5 type of guy. But the pocket clip, that could become an issue for some, I believe. And I think the grip overall could become an issue. I like, you know, the curved sort of pistol style grip on it. I do like that fact. And yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, if I just move my finger down a little bit, it actually becomes, if I want to get up on the knife though and use, you know, my thumb on the spine, I do have to. Because if I try to put my thumb back there, my pinky back there, that's really not all that comfortable. And I can still get up there a little bit with my pinky back here, but it's just, yeah, that's where it's the most comfortable. I tell you what, guys, I am going to leave a link to the entire Legion series from Hogue for Sig Sauer. I'm going to leave a link to that down in the comments so you can see the entire line. There's actually a Warncliffe version of the X5 out there. Wow. That is a wild, wild looking blade. They call it a Warncliffe. Okay, we'll go with it. It's got a really, really solid compound grind on it, and it doesn't look like a Wharncliffe to me, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's a pretty wild looking blade. As a matter of fact, this right here, that right there is the Wharncliffe version of the X5. So that's a wild blade. Yes, indeed. But thanks a lot, guys, for joining me again, checking out the Legion X5 from Hogue, made for Sig Sauer. And thanks again to Hogue, Sig Sauer, and the Apex Pass Around Group for the opportunity to check out the Legion X5. And thank you guys for stopping by and checking it out with me. As always, like, subscribe, leave me that comment, guys. You know I love talking to y'all. Till next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.